So this video it's a tough one. So basically, I spoke with my parents today about the fact that I've begun testosterone and the fact that I may be sometime in the hopefully near future changing my name. And that conversation went about as well as I expected it to, which is to say, it was absolute shit. Basically, what happened was, I sat my parents down, and, just talked, said, I need to talk to you guys about something. And, I think my mom, she's known for a while that I've wanted to talk to them, about some stuff ever since I came out. Um, so she kind of knew where this was going, or at least that it had something to do with me being trans. I think my dad was a little blindsided, um, but that's just because, as soon as I came out, he like went into denial and just wanted to pretend that it didn't happen, just like he does with anything else bad in his life. So there's that. So yeah, I just sat them down and said, I need to talk to you. And I said, um, I have begun the process of medically transitioning. I've started testosterone. You may notice some changes in me, like, my voice dropping. I may start to look more masculine eventually. Um, and I'm also probably going to change my name, hopefully sometime soon. And my mom, again, I think it was something that she doesn't really understand, but that she kind of saw coming as part of a natural progression of, okay, I came out. Obviously, there's going to be more to this than just, hey. Um, she had some questions. She had some good questions. When I said I started testosterone, she wanted to know what that would entail. Um, and she would also wanted to know how that would affect my career going forward. And, I tried to explain things to her to the best of my ability and to the best of my knowledge. My dad, on the other hand, was a lot less willing to listen to me and understand, and more wanting to tell me that I was wrong. Um, One thing he kept reiterating was that, he didn't approve and will likely never approve. Um, he wants me to go speak with a pastor. One of the first questions he asked me, actually, the very first question he asked me, was if I still believe in God. And I told him yes. I wasn't going to get into my personal relationship with God in that moment, because that is something very complex and something I've been struggling with for a long time. But I do believe in God, or a God, or maybe possibly even multiple gods. But I do still have this relationship with the spiritual, um, and this relationship with Christianity that is a very difficult one. And but yeah, he wanted me to go see a pastor. In his words, not a gay pastor, because they would be brainwashed, and not a devout, righteous servant of God, which already shows me his ignorant point of view on that, because I don't believe, I don't want to get into my personal religious beliefs or anything like that, but to say that a gay pastor is less of a pastor because of their sexual orientation just shows me the amount of ignorance and unwillingness to um, learn and see things from a different perspective. But basically, he said he wanted me to speak with a righteous uh, pastor, and I think he's just hoping they'll be able to talk me out of it. I really do think that's his hope and goal. He told me to reread Genesis because God made male and female, and I guess he wanted me to reread that and hope it finally resonated with me on the 100th time that I read that line, that somehow that would be the time that God descended from the heavens and whatever. But another thing he said that really hurt me more than I thought it would was, he said, I will always love my daughter. And then he said my dead name. That I will always love my daughter. But if you decide to change that, it will not be welcome in my home. So basically, um, he said if I continue on the path I'm on with testosterone and my name change and everything else, I will not be a welcome part of the family to him. And I knew that that was a possibility, a very large possibility. Um, but I guess just hearing it hurt a lot more than I thought it would. And my mother was right there. She didn't say anything in that moment other than I love you and I will always love you, even if I don't understand. But when he said, you are not welcome if you decide to do this, I guess I just kind of hoped that my mom would speak up and say, you'll always be welcome to me, or I don't know, something. I don't think my mom holds as strict a belief as my father. She was definitely raised a little more, she was definitely raised a little more, I don't want to say liberal, but not as strict as my dad. Um, and I think her views have a little more leeway. And, but I think the question is if she would go against my father in order to accept me. And I don't know. I honestly don't know if she will or not. I guess I just kind of have to hope that she will accept me in spite of him, despite what he says. And I can hope that he eventually will accept me. I'll be honest, I don't hold out a lot of hope for that last bit. I don't hold out a whole bunch of hope that he will come around because he's always been the kind of person who once he has decided something, it's nearly impossible to sway him, to convince him otherwise. I know, should I try to counter his religious arguments with science, he will say it's brainwashed and that's not of God and whatever. And if I try to combat it with the loving, accepting part of Christianity, um, that I have come to personally know and try to live in my life, um, I, I think he sees that as a weakened version of Christianity. Um, and again, he loves to use the term brainwashed. Um, he put a lot of blame on my friend groups as if the people I hung out with somehow made me trans, which is ridiculous because in high school, I was one of the first people to come out as gay. Um, I was really the first person I knew who was out. And I don't know, he was just convinced that somewhere along the line, someone or a group of people had gotten to me and influenced me to be trans or whatever. And he said he wished I would have told them sooner about my desire to medically transition, in his words, so that he could talk me out of it, so that he can convince me not to, which is part of the reason I didn't tell them until after, because I knew he wasn't going to change my mind. There was no talking me out of transitioning. It's something I've wanted for a long time, and I think if he tried to talk me out of it, it just would have been a fight. And that's why I decided to wait until after I'd made the decision, after I'd started to really confront them with it, because at that point, there's no going back. I wasn't going to let it become a fight about my identity. And I think now I just have to live my life and live in a way that's going to make me happy. And I can try to educate them. I can try to help them see my view, but I can't make them accept me. And the best I can do is just be happy. That's about it. So yeah, that's just an update on where I am in life. Talk to you later.